back to Kung Fu Maintenance. Got a Never Fade front door paint. This is made by Modern Masters. I don't work for them or anything. I just hope it's a really good product. Gonna try it out. It's supposed to never fade. It's supposed to last a lifetime. You want to do 2 or 3 coats, and you want to wait 2 hours in between before you recoat. You don't want to paint when it's too hot. Again, I don't work for them or anything. Again, I'm hoping it's a really good product. Of course, I want to believe it is. And it says it lasts a lifetime, so if I die, you'll have to check if my door is not faded yet. Anyway, gonna give it a shot, and if it fades before I die, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But I think it's gonna be good. Shake it up real good. You want to clean your front door with a detergent of your, choice there. And if your door hasn't been painted before or primed, you'll want to prime it first. And this is a water-based paint. It's fairly easy to use. Got some handy directions on the back with more information. You don't want to paint when it's too hot. If it's over 90 degrees, you're gonna want to, either open the door into an air-conditioned space like I'm going to be doing, and you want to clean your front door first, get everything ready, and what you want to use is a good paintbrush. I'm actually going to be using a chip brush, which probably isn't really the recommended brush, but it's what I have today. I'm going to get it done, and you want to use a 2-inch to a 2.5-inch drip brush. What I did like about the can is it came in a plastic can. Been noticing a lot of times paint is delivered in metal cans, and the metal has a tendency to rust around the edges, and also when you open it, it's kind of more difficult to open. This is nice and easy to open. It's got a sealed protection, so that's pretty cool. Also, you can save it for later use. It's already in its touch-up container, and your brush can actually fit. If you're using a 2-inch brush, it's pretty cool that it can fit right into your brush already. Well, this is a 2-inch brush, and this is a 3-inch brush. So they're recommending a 2-inch to a 2.5-inch brush. 2-inch brush is pretty cool because you can get right into your inner portions, and get a little bit more control and options. It's like my weather stripping's coming apart a little bit. I may have to redo that. That's a different video. No big deal. Okay, the other thing is if you're expecting rain or snow in the next 2 or 3 hours, you're not going to want to paint with this yet. You probably want to wait till another time. And you also don't want it to be too cold. If it's going to be below 40 degrees, you don't want to save it for another time. It dries in about 1 hour, but for recoating purposes, you want to wait 2 hours. It covers about 80 to 100 square feet, and cleanup is really easy, just soap and water. You want to avoid it getting frozen. Anyway, this is the Modern Masters front door paint. This one's a nice green, going to be a little bit of a louder color, which I'm okay with. So yeah, you want to clean your door first and prep your door surfaces, and then there's not much to it but to do it. If you're not comfortable with it, you can remove your hardware. I'm actually comfortable with cutting in around my hardware, so no big deal, but everybody's different, so gonna get it done. We'll see how it comes out. Okay, just a little bit of prep here. Gonna clean up the edges, and because the glass is smooth, we don't really need to worry about masking it off or anything. You can actually use a razor blade and gently scrape into it at an angle if we do get any paint on it, so it's not really a big deal. And can probably even paint it by hand without getting any paint on, but if we did, it's really easy. I'll tell you. I'm going to go ahead and remove my hardware since I'm doing 2 coats. Might as well. And yeah, going to caulk around this edge of the deal. And that way it can paint over the caulking, and it'll be all one piece, and that way there's no water intrusion issue around that. Even though I do have a storm door, so it won't really matter, but that's what I'm going to do. Just make a nicer finish. So, yeah. Okay, went ahead and swept up my area. And, not perfectly, but just kind of prepping it. And again, what works really good is a 45-gallon trash bag. all I had was some 13-gallon trash bags, so just going to be using 2 of them to protect my nice wood floor. I still haven't made the video on installing this stuff. I need to get around to doing that so I can show you. This was a no glue wood flooring. Pretty cool stuff. Has a sound under barrier, the underlayment that goes down, and I just still haven't made the video for it. But anyway, making the video for this now on painting the front door and the front door paint. So got everything prepped, and again just taking steps to protect the flooring because I don't want that no fade paint going on my new flooring. So, because you know it won't fade from the floor either. Haha. But it's soap and water cleanup. But anyway, there we go. And now I just gotta take off the hardware. It's the final bit here. Fix this up. No big deal. Just 4 screws here to take off the handles. And if you have a drill, that could speed things up for sure, but it's not too bad to just get it done by hand. No biggie. Just a little Saturday project here. Update things. Keep things nice. So there's our handle. We'll set that aside for reinstall when we're done. And then our deadbolt here, same deal. Go. And we'll just turn the deadbolt. Gotta change my screwdriver head. I'll set that aside for reinstall afterwards. And the deadbolt will just turn there. And there we go. Okay, and the other thing I was going to do was caulk around this outside edge. Just a nice small sheet of caulking. Come back over and smooth it in with my finger. And if there's any areas we need to re-go over, just kind of bring it in. And this is just an all-purpose caulking, and it's paintable. That's the important part. And I may have to re-go over a couple little spots here. It's no big deal. Getting it how I like it. be all set. Alright, nice and smooth there. Take off any excess. Because it's hot, it dries pretty quick, so you've got a small window of opportunity to make it how you like it. Ready? Now ready for paint. Okay, so now we're ready to paint. Got my paintbrush ready to go. It's probably a good idea to have a rag handy as well, so I'm going to grab one real quick. Okay, and the paint is a nice soap and water cleanup, so no big deal. Let's get the show on the road here. I'm going to start with the inside and then the inner ring here and then pull it all together. So it's going to go right around the edges of our glass. And again, if we get a little on the glass, no big deal. I'll come back later with a razor blade and we'll straighten that up. So I'm not too worried. In fact, some people actually recommend overlapping the glass a little bit and then using the razor blade after, so yeah, this way you got it. That part's up to you. And we're going to be doing 2 coats. We're going to be painting with the grain is what's recommended. And again, we don't have to worry too much if we get it on the glass. We can come back with our razor blade, straighten things out. So no big deal. Going to be quite a change from white to green. I went with green because I didn't want to go with something too dark. I actually thought about doing red. Problem is I've got an exposure where it gets a lot of sun, and so this door is going to absorb a lot of heat, and as you can see, it was already absorbing heat just being white, so I didn't want something darker that would absorb even more heat than, you know, this is already, even going to green is going to absorb a little bit more heat than it was absorbing. So. No big deal. And what we really want to avoid is any drips or runs. So it's better to go thinner and do more coats than it is to go too thick and get runs. Yep, it's coming along good. I'm going to move over here and get this inner side so you can see it a little better. And again, I'm overlapping into my glass a little bit, which is fine. Come back later with the razor blade. Fix that. And again, I'm really liking the jar that it came in. Much better than a metal can. It also makes it easier to tap the sides. When I'm painting with a brush, I don't like to dip all the way, the bristles all the way in. I like to kind of keep it at the front. It makes for a much neater situation. And Also less likely to get it on your hands. When you keep your hands neat and you're a neat painter, you're less likely to get it on something else. So just my opinion there, my experience from years of painting is, you know, if you start to get messy with the brush, then you have a higher chance that your paint is going to get on something else or that you didn't want it to. Alright. So now I'll start bringing that out a bit. And come back around and get that outer edge where we caulked it in. No biggie, just get it down. And if possible, it's nice to keep a wet edge as you go. That way the paint kind of all has one skin. Sometimes that's a little tricky when you have a bigger area to paint. We'll start to bring this out. This isn't the best paintbrush. You may want a better quality paintbrush for something like this, but this is a chip brush. And now I'll just paint all this into our inner edges of the raised panel. And we're going to try to paint with the grain. And we're still trying to keep that wet edge. Avoiding letting it dry. And still trying to paint with the grain as well. We've got some of the little brush marks, brush pieces that came off a little bit. But no big deal. Okay. So we can keep that wet edge, so gotta go kind of quick. And still trying to stay with the grain, which is not always that easy. Take that little bristles coming off. Again, you may want to use a higher quality paintbrush than what I'm using, but I actually use these so much that I'm just really comfortable with them. So, that is what it is. Okay, now we're going to paint inside our raised panel, the lower portion. And my battery may die here, so if it does, I'll just cut to the finish, as you know, the rest of this isn't rocket science, it's just painting. It is what it is. And we're going to do at least two coats, may do 3 coats here. And yeah, I'm painting with the grain. It's going to help the grain show through I really like that green. The look of the green as it shows through the paint. Just a really nice look when you can still see the character of the wood. Very nice. And we're avoiding any brush marks, any drip marks. And just keeping it moving right along. And you can see a good thing we put our drop cloth down. So you did get a little drip or a splatter. No biggie. And looks like I waited a little long to paint this as the door got a little bit of water damage, but it probably won't show too much. You can see these little ripples down here. But hey, it's our front door. It doesn't need to be perfect. Sometimes everything being perfect is a little boring. Now it's got a little bit of character. It's no big deal. Nothing wrong with it being perfect either, I'm just saying. Sometimes it's overemphasized. Okay, now we can do our next raised panels. And before I do, finish this off up here. And I'm actually going to get the top so we can try to keep our wet edge and then bring it down. So I think that'll work out good. I'll bring it top down. And again, trying to go with the grain. And also trying to get rid of any little bristles that come off. Painting with the green will help to keep the character of the green showing through as much as possible. That's what we want. Trying to keep that wet edge, so I'm going to pretty quickly go around where it's already been painted before getting the rest. As well as I'll bring it in down lower just a little bit to keep it going right along. Again, trying to keep our wet edge so that everything dries in kind of uniformly. Not always possible, but you know, do what you can. This means you have a nicer finish. I'm going to bring this in. Welcome to the Incredible Hulk's house. The home of David Banner. I'm going to be painting the inside edge here as well, so I can overlap that a little bit. the inside edge, I'm just going to leave white on the other side. Like this one. Edge and make it nice and neat. Take just this top edge as well. And it's time to get out to my far edge before that dries too much. And this one I'm not going to paint the inside edge, so what we can do is just bring it out just like so. What we don't want to do is paint this way. That'll make a ripple on the edge. We can paint off to the side like this. Then we won't have a ripple or build up on the edge. If we go this way, you'll get a build up on the edge, and that's not what we want. At the same time, we're wanting to bring it back in with the grain. So just kind of keeping those two different things in balance. And if you're uncomfortable with it, you might mask your edge. It's up to you. You know, just painting it over and then using the brush to bring it back in grain with the grain. Going this way, and then I'll bring it in green. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay. So yeah, and it's a judgment call here on how you want to do it on your edges or the side. If you want to paint it the same color as the door, as the front door, or if you want to leave it the same color as the back door. It's all the judgment call. But now we're getting to the point where we're going to want to paint the inside. It's a little bit better to paint the inside of the raised panels first, in that you'll be able to smooth out the other parts after. It's harder to come back in and do the raised panel portions after. It's not a strict rule or anything, just, you know. That's my experience. I'm less likely to get drips and stuff like that if you do the inner portion first and then do the outer portion. one of those bristles I was telling you about. This is why you may not want to use this kind of brush for this kind of more detailed work. But I'm kind of used to it, so I just kind of watch for those bristles and then catch them and get rid of them right away. Kind of funny, whatever you get comfortable with using, you know, it sort of becomes the tool of choice for you because you got more experience with it. So that's where I'm at with these brushes. I used to use only more expensive brushes, and then I started switching to these chip brushes and just got used to it. So now I can't hardly see using the other brushes, even though I could do it if I needed to or so wanted to, but that's just me. You gotta go with what you're comfortable with on that. And this bottom trim, I'm actually just going to paint over the little bit of a deal here. So I kind of want it to just be green. Taking all my brush marks out and going with the grain. And we're going to be doing a second coat, so no biggie here. I almost waited a little too long on this door because it was really starting to show some wear. I think that storm door was making it cook a bit. Okay, now I'm going to paint along this edge so that I can keep my wet edge. And then we'll paint the inside. No deal. And now we can paint over that. Bring it all in nice and neat. And make it look more like David Banner's house. Yeah. Don't make me mad if you knock on his door. The Incredible Hulk lives here. I think it's going to be a nice modern finish, as the name of the company implies. Now I got this from Home Depot, ordered it. I ordered it in the store and picked it up in the store. They had to order it. They don't carry it actually in the store, but I just like the idea of a specialized product for a specialized purpose. And cost me about just a little under $40 for the paint, and whatever, 50 cents for a chip brush, if that. So another couple bucks for the tube caulking. Let's bring all these brush marks out, and part of the key to not getting brush marks is not going over something that's already dried or started to dry. So you want to work out your brush strokes early on so that you're not going over something later while it's in a semi-dried state, you know, not completely dry and not completely wet. At that point it's become too late. and hence that's why I try to keep a wet edge and move along. That way, you know, everything else is dry. Like at this point, I wouldn't want to go back over anything up top, in that it's already dried and it's going to take the indentation of the brush and leave brush marks. It's better at this point to let it dry and then do a second coat. Okay, there's the first coat all in. I decided to do that first little inner edge right here as well, and I think that'll work out really well. So we'll let that dry for 2 hours from now and come back and do a second coat. I like it though, looks good. Here's the first coat. We'll see how it dries up a couple hours and give it a second coat. Let it dry for its 2 hours. Now ready for the second coat. Actually wound up painting the inside edge here of the deal. I'll have to flip it this way so I can show you. But yeah, now I'm ready for the second coat. I don't think I'll bother recording it, as it's all pretty straightforward, the same deal, keeping a wet edge and going over the various areas. You know, got this side done, and a second coat will definitely help it quite a bit. So get it going, get it painted up, and there's our caulking repairs down lower. Came out pretty decent. You know, it's not perfect, but it's got a little bit of character. No big deal. Thanks for watching. Kung Fu Maintenance, over and out. Okay, so here it is. 2 coats seem to do it just right. It's all dry, and you know, could do a third coat, but I think 2 coats is just fine. And now we're going to put our hardware back on. And there's our nice new door, all painted up, good to go. Welcome to David Banner's house. Good to go. Thanks for watching Kung Fu Maintenance. Over now. Don't make me mad now.